All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. Happy Sunday to you and yours, wherever you are listening to us, to all our listeners all over the world, those in the Biafraland diaspora and the country called Nigeria, welcome back. And I say happy Sunday to you once again. As it be, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa Nwanjoko, has given reasons why he would not obey Mazi Nnamdi Kanu concerning halting the sit-at-home order. As it is, before I go into that, a lot of people have been suggesting that most of the directive that Kanu has been given recently is being done out of pressure, out of duress. Of course, you know that inside there in the DSS detention, he has no freedom of his own. He can say some things under duress. And the bench as we are talking to some people, reaching out to a lot of individuals, they say that yes, they know Kanu to be a brave man, but as it is, since he is single-handedly alone in the DSS detention, that some of his comments and statements could be under duress. But let's go down to see the reason why the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa Ohamadike II of Ndibo, have refused to obey Mazi Nnamdi Kanu concerning the sit-at-home. Of course, you know that this sit-at-home is geared to make sure that Kanu is released from the DSS detention. Meanwhile, let's see the reason of Mazi Simon Ekpa's decision. I won't obey Nnamdi Kanu's instruction to end sit-at-home in Southeast, Simon Ekpa vows. The Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Simon Ekpa, has said he will not heed calls from incarcerated leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to put an end to the sit-at-home currently being enforced across the Southeast region every Monday. Ekpa reviewed this during a special episode of 90 Minutes Africa hosted by Rudolph Okonkwo on Tuesday. I won't listen to Nnamdi Kanu's instruction to end sit-at-home, the Finland-based pro-Biafra agitator stated. I will only listen to him not just when he becomes a free man, but he has to come to Finland to tell me face-to-face, he said. In July 2023, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in a letter read to the media by his special counsel Aloy Ejimako, instructed Simon Ekpa to desist from calling any sit-at-home forthwith. The IPOB leader further stated that anyone who continues the enforcement of the sit-at-home in the Southeast is not his disciple. However, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile said that the only condition for him to listen to such an instruction is that Nnamdi Kanu has to come to Finland and sit one-on-one with him. This is my condition, Mr. Ekpa declared. Even if they bring him out today and he stays in Nigeria and says, Simon Ekpa, stop, I am not going to stop, he vowed. Simon Ekpa explained that the sit-at-home exercise was a pathway to Biafra freedom. He insisted he has succeeded in crushing the economy of Nigeria, delegitimizing the Nigeria government in Biafraland, and demonstrating that the people don't listen to Nigeria authorities anymore. We are using 4 different mechanisms to pursue the freedom of Biafra, he stated. 1. The political diplomatic self-defense or armed struggle and the civil disobedience approach, he said. These are the 4 approaches we are using to delegitimize and fight Nigeria, and they are working perfectly. Responding to criticism that the sit-at-home is taking a toll on traders, students, and other residents of the region, Simon Ekpa argued that it was a price worth paying to achieve a better future for the people. The traders have a better business ahead of them, and the students will have better school to attend in future, he insisted. What we are doing is a price. They have to be paid for freedom. Freedom does not come easy. We are going to bring an alternative that will work for them, so they have to pay the price of not going to school if they have to. All right, welcome back. This is coming from the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa. He said that, of course, if actually Biafrans wants to be free, that there are some prices they have to pay. Of course, a lot of people have reported to him how the sit-at-home has crippled the economy of the southeastern people and has also affected the academic activities of the children living in Biafraland. And in response to that, Ekpa said that that freedom does not come easily, that it comes with a price, that the people must pay price now for a better future. I wonder. Another information, Ejimako recalled how the UN Rights Council Working Group directed Buhari's government to release Kanu and compensate him in July 2022. On Saturday, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu's lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako, urged President Bola Tinubu not to dishonor the United Nations UN like ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. Ejimako recalled how the UN Rights Council Working Group directed Buhari's government to release Kanu and compensate him in July 2022. He disclosed that Kanu's case has moved from legal to political, hence the need for Tinubu to release Kanu. In a statement he signed, Ejimako said in July 2022, the United Nations Human Rights Council, through a landmark opinion issued by its working group, directed the Buhari-led government of Nigeria to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and accord him a pathway to compensation of his infamous extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021. The 17-page opinion in its disposition or conclusion states that the working group considered that, taking into account all the circumstances of the case, the appropriate remedy would be for the government of Nigeria to release Mr. Kanu immediately and accord him an enforceable right to compensation and other reparations in accordance with international laws. As a background, the working group of the United Nations Human Rights Council, in a quasi-judicial body that has the legal mandate of the United Nations to receive and adjudicate human rights petition against member nations of the UN. Accordingly, its decision, diplomatically called opinion, are legally binding on all members of nations of United Nations, including Nigeria. In addition to Nigeria being a bona fide member of the United Nations, this very UN decision on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is primarily predicated on the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, by which Nigeria is legally bound by virtue of its ratification by an act of the National Assembly under Section 12 of the Nigerian Constitution. To be sure, ratification is a means by which a nation marks itself state is on fire. This is happening live today. Today is the Monday, 18th of November 2024, happening live in Anambra. Watch that video on your screen, even though I will not be dropping all the videos because it is against our YouTube guideline, community guidelines. And here on YouTube, YouTube is very, very serious, and I love them for that. As it be, you don't share for Anambra in Abatete life. What happened in Abatete today is tearful. It calls for tears. It calls for justice. It calls for government intervention. This is becoming very bad, that we can no more sleep in our own country. We can no more sleep in our own community. Today in Abatete, unknown gunmen invaded Abatete community. If you know where they call Abatete roundabout, they invaded Abatete community. They pied the PG, the president general of the community. They pied all the security men, security entourage that usually follows the PG. They also set their cars ablaze. A lot of people lost their life. That's the people you are seeing on your screen there. A lot of people lost their life on that process. A lot of people lost their life on that process. And I'm beginning to wonder what kind of government is this? What is actually happening? What is really going on in this nation? If the people are no more secured, if the people have no more security for themselves, if the people will be living in their own land and they are living in fear, not just in fear, this is called heavy fear. The PG of Abatete just lost his life today, even though he was taken to the hospital unconscious, as you see under your screen. But a lot of security men who were part of his entourage, many of them lost their life. And these people are not the sons of strangers. These people are the sons of Ndi Igbo, the sons of Umu Igbo, the sons of Ndi Igbo, the sons of Abatete, the sons of Anambra. They are the ones that lost their life. I think that people who are behind this thing, ndị be anyị si na onye tinyela aka enwe n'ofe kaba arụ wepụ ya tupu o mee gịnị ọwara aka mmadụ. Ọ na-asị ya bụ ndị na-etinyekwa n'aka enwe n'ofe na obodo a ha wepụkwana ya tupu ọwa aka mmadụ. It's becoming as if the issue of insecurity is becoming a beneficial and a lucrative business in this nation. But the Chukwu Kabiama, God Almighty, will bring justice. Meanwhile, another information where they drop from my table, we say impeachment saga looms. Imo Assembly under pressure to remove Governor Hope Uzodinma. When I saw this news, I say, is it possible a man who single-handedly took over Imo State first and second time? In the first tenor, Hope Uzodinma was number 4th in the election. I think Emeki Hedioha was first. Uche Nwosu was second with AA. Then Ararume was third with I think Apoga. Then Hope Uzodinma was 4th with APC. And what happened that the Supreme Court, the High Court, ruled on the part of Hope Uzodinma, and today Hope becomes the governor of Imo State. And after that, the second tenor, Hope, it was as if the election of Imo State was something we called unopposed. It was as if they just carried the office and gave it back to him again because I think nobody was there to challenge him. Even Emeki Hedioha, that people were expecting to do a comeback in the People's Democratic Party, Hedioha wrote a letter and said that he apologized to the members of PDP and all his supporters. According to his letter, he said that he is stepping down on the matters that concern the issue of the gubernatorial race. Meanwhile, on the information where they my table, ahead of the state protest later to hold on undisclosed date by Occupy Imo Group, members of Imo State House of Assembly is said to be under serious pressure to impeach Governor Hope Uzodinma. Ekpa Fabian, former aide to the said that the Occupy Imo Group would also submit documents of impeachment offense against Uzodinma, who they accuse of truancy. In a statement on Tuesday, Ekpa disclosed through his media handle that Imo people have angrily rejected the Hope Uzodinma, who under his shared prosperity, he served as Commissioner for Foreign Affairs. While charging the State Assembly to impeach Uzodinma, Dr. Ekpa promised that Occupy Imo Group would resist every attempt by Uzodinma to oppress Imo State. Meanwhile, some political loyalists to Uzodinma who spoke to impartial observers on condition of anonymity have expressed disappointment over what they describe as selfishness. In a separate chat with our correspondent on Thursday, they alleged that they abandoned Imo State shortly after Supreme Court verdict, which declared him winner of controversial 2023 governorship pool. An advisor in his told our correspondent that this is yet to payroll some appointees while those who are receiving salaries are yet to be given operational vehicle and service. Oh, say Taylor. Meanwhile, ndị be anyị si na alụ mekata gbaa afọ nyabife abaza wọrọ omenani. Of course, the government of APC have decided to take over Nigeria. A lot of elections that have been conducted recently, Edo, Ondo, and the rest of them, and even some part of the northern part who conducted their election, APC have actually taken over. And I'm still wondering what is the mission of APC in Nigeria. Is it to take over the whole 36 states? And if APC should occupy 36 states of Nigeria unopposed, I think that is to say that there is no more men in this country, because every other people in this nation, they are all women. Because if you look at the kind of politics that is being played in this nation, you find that nobody is standing for the truth. Everybody wants to respect the governor. Everybody wants to respect the president. Everybody wants to respect the commissioner. Everybody wants to respect the DPO. Nobody have the mouth again to stand and speak for his people because of what they could get from the government. Every single individual is looking for an appointment. Every single individual is looking for one thing or the other that they will achieve from the present government. That is why you see that the political party we have in this nation does not have what we call ideology. In places like America, you see political parties, the Republicans, Democrats, these people have their ideology that if you're a Republican, this is what you represent. If you're a Democrat, this is what you represent, and they have what is called a manifesto. The manifesto contains what the political party represents, and once you see them in office, once they take over power, you see them acting according to their manifesto. But the kind of politics we have seen so far, should I say in Africa in general and mostly in Nigeria, is one to write nothing home about, because the people, the governmental machineries are just gullible. And sometimes you wouldn't blame it on these people, because the people who are in power, they use their power to intimidate everybody. If you go to the law court, you know, Nigeria is becoming worse as the day goes by. It's becoming worse, because in this country you find out that even the law court, the judiciary can be bought, the legislature can be bought, the executive can be bought. It was in this country that everybody, eyes open, they robbed off the presidential election. Yakubu was there, a lot of people complained, and the rest of them, still nothing happened. In Imo State, the same thing happened. Nothing happened. A lot of states, this thing has been taking place. An election has been going on now. APC is continuously taking over the governmental powers, and yet nothing is happening. Meanwhile, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain. And if this is your first time of joining us, kindly go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to all your notification buttons so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first one to collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Declaration. Recall that since 2021, Nnamdi Kanu has been under detention by the Nigerian government over Biafra agitation. Southeast governors, groups from the region, and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, have vigorously drummed support for the release of Kanu as panacea to peace in the region. Senators from the Southeast region had also met with the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi's son, to demand the release of the IPOB leader. After the meeting, the lawmakers resolved to approach President Bola Tinubu to beg for Kanu's freedom. I don't see as it happen. Ekpa has made it known that since 1967, that Ndi Igbo has been marginalized. Please, what do you have to say on that comment? Can you drop your comment on the comment section? Let me know what you think on what Ekpa said, that Ndi Igbo has been marginalized since 1967. Remember that immediately after the war, Gowon, the then head of state, declared no victor, no vanquish. And that was when the 3DR came up, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and rebuilding. And of course, this was supposed to be mainly on the part of Ndi Igbo. Because if we talk about people who lost a lot of things during the Nigeria Biafra Civil War, it was Igbos because they lost a lot of their properties to the war. And after that, it was reported that the Igbo businessmen and other millionaires who has money in the Nigerian bank account, who could not change their money to pound, Biafra pound, were refunded only £20 immediately after the war. As it be, another information dropped on my table that separatists killed at least 11 people in southeast Nigeria, Army says. The Nigerian military has said that separatists killed at least 11 people in a sunrise assault on a checkpoint in the country, southeastern Abia State, the latest in a string of raids in the restive region. The attack on Thursday, which the army blamed on the separatist indigenous people of Biafra movement, claimed the life of 6 civilians and 5 soldiers deployed at the Obikabia Junction in the city of Aba. According to the defense spokesperson, Major General, the military will be fierce in its response. We will bring overwhelming military pressure on the group to ensure their total defeat, said the military head. IPOB, which want a separate state for the ethnic Igbo people in the southeast Nigeria, denied it was behind the attacks. We condemn the attack on military on duty in Aba, spokesman Emma Powerful said, blaming political motivated criminals. The attack took place as the region commemorated the people who died in a result of 3-year civil war, which broke out on May 30th, 1967, after Igbo army officers declared an independent Biafra state. More than 1 million people died in the conflict, mostly from starvation. IPOB said it has issued a strict order for people to remain indoors on so-called Biafra Day, adding that it has not struck a time of mourning. All right. Welcome back. I'm bringing you some information to let you know if you can be able to be the judge by yourself and say why you feel that the Biafran has been so much marginalized by the government of Nigeria. The Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Simon Ekpa, who trumped to endorse Biafra independence. Simon Ekpa has called on President Trump to stand for the Biafrans and also to help the Biafrans to achieve their independence. As it be, you don't share millions of dollars meant for Boko Haram fight invested in U.S. luxury estate tied to ex-Nigerian security advisor Sambo Dasuki allies. You don't share. A new report released by the platform to protect whistleblowers in Africa has revealed that the former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki invested millions of dollars in American luxury real estate. Dasuki was previously charged with diverting billions of naira meant for the fight against Boko Haram insurgents during former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. The PPLAAF report stated that tens of millions alleged misappropriated by the former minister. Tens of millions alleged misappropriated by Dasuki ended up funding luxury properties in Los Angeles, California, MC Lynn, Virginia, and wealthy suburb of Washington, D.C. The PPLAAF stated that it examined thousands of pages of property deeds, corporate filings, bank records, and documents from both Nigeria and the U.S. tracing funds to high-end properties purchased by Dasuki close associates Rabat and Mimi Oshodin. The report stated that records indicate that the Oshodin received at least $27 million from Dasuki office and invested similar sum in U.S. real estate. Our investigation shows how the fight for accountability in Nigeria is undermined when nations like the US ignore corruption. It's a grave issue when those entrusted to protect citizens siphon public money for personal luxury, stated Jimmy Candy, PPLAAF West African Director. The US can and should do more, both morally and legally, Candy added. Recall that in 2018, under former President Muhammadu Buhari, Nigerian authorities alerted the U.S. Department of Justice about the allegation involving Dasuki and the Oshodins, urging them to track the money trail. Despite this, the Oshodins continue to acquire and sell properties. Alright, we now don't see what in the government they do with our money. But now here, I got to wind them down. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
And gave them the appointment. That is why Africa is failing today. Because it is all about the interest of those who appointed you, not the interest of the country, not the interest of the citizen, not for the interest of the society. So we know that our communication will not bring anything or any change, but rather we want to do it as a formality. After that, we will continue the delegitimization of Nigeria within Biafra territory. Because the only two things we want to achieve using this process is the legitimization of the Biafra government and the delegitimization of the Nigerian government. And this is going to be the beginning of the delegitimization and the beginning of the legitimization. The legitimization will follow and come in with the pursuit for international recognition, which is going to take time, which is the reason we are here discussing today, which is the reason we are coming to in alliance with Eritrea, which is the reason now the like minds are coming together from abroad, from exile, to begin to bring change in Africa, to begin to push for a different democratic system that will benefit everyone, to bring Western civilization to Africa, where everybody can participate and voted for without getting killed. That's what the President Badran is fighting for. That's what Simon Ekpa is fighting for, and that's what everyone who is supporting this movement is fighting for. So we can have a better society to live without getting killed, without fear of getting kidnapped or abused. So after that, the delegitimization of Nigeria state will continue as we continue to push with our lobbyists in the Washington, D.C., making sure that America understand the need for Biafra to emerge as an independent state for their own interest too. It is not just about us. What we are doing now is for the interest of everybody. Nigeria continue to stay as a country is going to be a threat to everyone, every one of us, whether you like it or not. And it is already happening. And I believe that many of them who know about Nigeria knows exactly what I'm talking about. So Biafra becomes alternative to make sure that we have long-term solution to the upsurge of terrorists. And after that, the delegitimization of Nigeria continues. The fight for legitimization of the Biafra government will now take them to the second stage. Like Elias said here, we will continue to create awareness for the people in the United States, those who are in decision-making in the US, and of course in Europe as well and beyond, for them to understand that Biafra is the only alternative that will bring solution, bring peace, so that all this money they keep sending money to Africa, when Africa is actually richer than them in natural resources, but they are being mismanaged and all that. So you don't need to be sending aid to Africa. We don't need it. We don't need the aid. The aid is actually what is, making all these people to be what they are today. So we don't need those aids. Rather, we need good governance, good democracy system, a true democracy. We need law and order, where the government will be held responsible when international law, international treaty is breached. Like Nigeria today, they go kidnapping. They go to Kenya to kidnap somebody, kidnap the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, and nobody has sanctioned them. Everybody is fine with it. That is not the kind of society we are fighting for. Nigeria have done this in the 80s. They went to London, to the United Kingdom, to kidnap somebody called Omar Diko. And the United Kingdom jailed every one of them that are involved. Today, look at where they are. They have not jailed anybody. for kidnapping their own citizen in Kenya. And not only that, even their own citizen is still languishing in the DSS dungeon in Nigeria. And there is nothing have been done. Money have changed hand. Nigeria have bribed all of them and nobody can talk. So we are not looking for that kind of system to continue to live in that kind of system. So what we are doing is that after this Finland convention, where a lot of things will be unveiled, in alliances will be signed and all that, we will go into the next stage. As our lobbies are educating the United States policymakers, we will be busy delegitimizing Nigeria within Biafraland until our voice is heard by the highest authority. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister, Mr. Simon. Mr. President, any comments on that? And also, I would like to bring a comment from our audience. That was, I think, I displayed it earlier, and just bring it back to the stage so you can comment on that also, Mr. President, Mr. G. Not reading any comment from the Eritreans. So this is, I think, a big question. You on mute, Mr. G.
You're on mute. Unmute.
Is it a question? Says not reading any comments from the Eritreans. Say it all. Go and find them.
I mean, if you want comment on that,
okay.
I would say, yeah, it's not. I don't know
what to comment
but
on
if
that.
you any comments on what? Prime Minister.
Number one, I mean, everything he said, I agree with. Especially, on the differences, on the similarities. What sort of governments, what they do to our people. Yes, Africa is not poor. Africa is rich. But a lot of resources has been misused and abused, and with so many corrupted people managing our resources. I want to wish them success on their upcoming convention or conference in Finland. Unless the sky is falling apart, transitional Eritrean government in exile intends to be there. No surprise. We may even have some surprise of our own. So I think going forward, we are really to work together, and we are consulting with each other to become very, very powerful and support for each other. We just had our convention less than 2 weeks ago. As Elias said, he was in Ethiopia. That means we found us another friend in the African nation of Ethiopia. Why in Ethiopia? Well, we only go to places or countries that allows you. Can't just go, if come tomorrow, whether Djibouti, Somaliland, Sudan, or others. If they allow us or if they invite us to do the convention with heartbeat, without any hesitation, yes, we'll accept the offer and do the conference wherever they allowed us. So in the conference, believe it or not, it was successful and more than what we expected. All these small factions, it is well known, our problem is our fragmentation. We fight for the same reason, our goal is the same, but everybody trying to push the table from every different, maybe 10 angles, and the table not moving anywhere. Therefore, knowing this, those small groups, they were receptive to begin with, and we kind of consolidated to create one central command. It is amazing. This is the largest population of Eritrean youth, over 300,000. And the next one would be in Uganda. All these are victims of exodus or running from the military, lifetime militarism in other sense. So they agree.
Kunu si wene sola ni dwa akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 n'ụbọchị nketa anyị na-akpọ ya morning tea. Unu anụgonu ya bụ ife mgbakọrịta ụka ya bụ ife Maazị Simon Ekpa bụ Biafran Prime Minister or Biafran Public Government in exile. Dịka o si dị n'afọ ka o si ada n'iru akwụkwọ. Gịnị ka ị nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ dị iche iche dropụla ya on the comment section below. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ibe ya bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị na-esoyere anyị n'iru akwụkwọ, onye na-afụ ya bụ ihe onyonyo anyị kaba alụ ka ị like ya and turn on notification, share kwe ka o wetakwa ndị ọzọ ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Daalụ rinne n'Igbo ọma na-ege ntị. Oge na-adịrị anya onye ndu ya pụta n'ụlọ mkpọrọ. Ka emesịanụ ụmụnne m.